Great. So I think we're live. Just give it a few moments for everyone just to tune in. And then we'll dive in.
Sounds good.
Great. I think we'll start. So hello everybody, and welcome to this talk. Very excited to introduce Santi Balagua, who is a bit of a parity and Polkadot OG. So pretty excited to have him here, sort of speaking with us. A little bit of housekeeping before we dive in. I just wanted to sort of remind everyone that this is part of the Polkadot Builders Party and Hackathon, and it's also part of the Road to Sub-Zero, which is happening in November. So this is going on for 6 weeks, and we really want people to get inspired and to be building, and to share your work and essentially, land in November with some new projects and some pretty good excitement around the whole thing. So you're going to be hearing from more parity engineers over this time, but also Polkadot ecosystem people. And so can you just do check if you want more information about this? It's on the Luma pages, and I will endeavor to put the links in the chat as well, so we've got those. And also there's meetups that you can find out on the X channel at _meetups. So that's it. Without further ado, I'd love to hand over to Santi, and really looking forward to this talk about the PDP, the Polkadot Deployment Portal. Over to you, Santi. Oh, sorry, before I do over to you, sorry, hang on. I want to invite people. I don't know, we've got such a global ecosystem with Polkadot, so it would be wonderful to hear where you're from. In the chat, if you're happy to share that, please do. Share the chat. Share that in the chat. We'd love to see that as well. Super. Thank you, Santi. I will see you in a bit.
Lovely. Thank you, Georgie, very much for that introduction. And thanks everybody for joining now live, and also those that are going to be looking at the recording of this. As Georgie was saying, I'm Santi. I'm going to say where I'm from. I'm from Argentina, so I'll put that in the comments if I could. I've been at Parity and Polkadot for more than 5 years already. In fact, when I joined, rollups did not exist in Polkadot back then. They were part of the design and they were being built, but were not yet live. And I had the pleasure to work with a lot of teams over the years to help them launch the rollups on Polkadot. And this project sort of like helps us, with all the learnings of over the years, create something for people to build faster and more securely on Polkadot. So today we're going to be covering the Polkadot deployment portal. You might have also heard it referred to as the PDP, which in essence is the fastest way to launch Polkadot native rollups today. You can follow the project at Polkadot Deploy, and let's get started. So without something like the PDP, right, we're looking at this very long list of tasks that somebody needs to know how to do to actually get a rollup launched on Polkadot today, right? The list is very, very long, and what you're seeing here is just the happy path. So think about simple things like making sure that your development environment is correct, that you know how to create your runtime, that you know what a para ID is and you know how to register that on chain, that you then know what to do after you get that para ID, which identifies your rollup, to then add the Genesis state and the WASM blob that's going to be represented at runtime on chain as well. Then if you do that correctly, you need to understand core time and know when to get a core and how to get a core. And once you bought that core, you need to assign it. And once you assign it, like there's so many things that you need to do. And again, right here, we're looking at the happy path, right? The good thing is that all these steps are required for a reason, right? And Polkadot has been designed with all these things in mind because it's the best platform today to create rollups. The only thing that we needed to do is package all this and make it available in a simple click to users. So let's see how we did it. Builders were saying things before like, oh, it's very difficult, documentation is all over the place, or this core term thing sounds very exciting, but it's also very confusing. How do I know I always have a core? Or it's hard to get up to speed with this, or I'm not even sure how to deploy. Like, a lot of things were being said by builders, and that's why we decided to go into the route of saying, you know what, let's make life easier because we believe Polkadot is the best platform today to deploy rollups. And we can make it very simple for that to happen. As I was saying, Polkadot was basically born for hosting rollups, right? This is one of the first diagrams that Polkadot ever had, where you can see the central chain that we call the relay chain. You've got all this rollups around going with it. It always has been designed to natively host these rollups, right? It offers rollups this shared security, true shared security, as I call it. There's a lot of shared security out there, which is not true, in my opinion. And rollups have this fast finality, not this, in the best case scenario, 7 days that you get with optimistic rollups. And besides all of this, you get interoperability out of the box, which is something that is critical when you are deploying your own rollup, your own chain out there that wants to interact with the rest of the ecosystem if you want to make it securely, decentralized, and effective. Polkadot was designed with this in mind. And there's some numbers to back this up, right? So we've run this spamming thing activity in February 2025, so the beginning of this year. And you know how fast things move, right? So this is even all data right now. And that moment in time, we can see that Polkadot recorded the highest TPS out there for any other blockchain ecosystem that you can ever imagine. Besides that, rollups always need this data availability layer that we've always talked about. And Polkadot has shown its highest DA layer. Again, this is from January 2025 and with only 50 parachains or 50 rollups, as we call them these days, on Polkadot. Now we have availability for 100. So it's twice the number that you're seeing there today. And we should not forget as well that when we are talking about data availability here, bandwidth is native to Polkadot. So you don't need to rely on other systems working, and you do not need to spread your risk into different multiple systems. Polkadot gives everything to you out of the box. So it's indeed always been built for rollups from the get-go. And it's the only blockchain out there that has had rollups from its inception in its initial design. So basically what we tried and do with the PDP, because we really believe this is the case of Polkadot, right? We just sat down and said, let's make it very simple for users. So we created PDP, which is today the simplest, fastest, and cheapest way to build, deploy, and scale Polkadot native rollups. Because on Polkadot, you don't only build, you don't only deploy, but you can also scale your business, right? And that is quite unique for the Polkadot architecture. In essence, the PDP gives you a very simple flow for you to build your project, then deploy it without you needing to know anything about infrastructure, and then access Polkadot and everything that it has to offer for you, all in one simple UI. And you do that in minutes. We give you secure and tested infrastructure out of the box, so you do not have to worry about that. No, you need to have a team to worry about that. And we give you vetted runtime templates that have been built by known builders in the space. For example, Open Zeppelin, who has built all these smart contract templates, they've also built runtime templates for Polkadot and can be used to the PDP. If that was not enough, we've automated the entire core management lifecycle. The moment you get deployed, you get core-to-side out of the box. And after that, we help you transition and move towards setting, for example, auto-renewal so that your chain is always having a core so that your business does not stop. And finally, when you are connected to Polkadot, we help you with bridging to other rollups on Polkadot, even to other ecosystems like Ethereum through things like Hyperbridge or Snowbridge, plus very native ecosystem integration. So for example, being able to have your token listed on Hub so that all this ecosystem building of smart contracts on Hub today can also use your project for getting more exciting things out there. So how this actually works? Well, there's 3 simple steps, if you wish, or we can call them simple, but under the hood, they do a lot of things. But basically condensate this very long list that I was sharing at the beginning. First off, you design your rollup, right? So we have a very simple form that we're going to see in a minute when we look into the platform, where you can decide things like what is going to be my token name. Maybe I want it to be Santi or PDP or Dot or whatever I want it to be. Then you got to decide how many decimals, what's the precision point of this token that you're launching? What is going to be the amount of initial tokens that are going to be minted? Do I want 1 million tokens, 10 million tokens? What is your own token strategy for launch? And besides that, you'll choose things like who's going to have pseudo rights at the beginning. when launching your products, and what's going to be the runtime, what's going to be the actual range of your own rollup that you're going to be launching with. So we support there are different runtime templates for you to get started out of the box without needing to know much of front-end development for now. After that, we handle the entire infrastructure for you. You just click deploy, and we handle it all for you. We are currently running everything on Kubernetes, so we can very easily scale up and down your node allocation depending on what you want. And you get out of the box RPC nodes and normal collator nodes, as we call them as well, to ensure that your chain is always producing blocks and you can connect to it. Besides that, we're also working on native indexers working for you, and also explorers that are ready for you out of the box. And if this was not enough, you can also choose how you want your core time, right? You can select the option, I don't need a core right now because maybe you bought it somewhere else. Or you can say, I just need a full core because I'm expecting a lot of load on this rollup right now. Or you can say things like, hey, you know what? Just give me a portion of a core. I don't need to spend a lot of money right now. I'm going to test these things out from the very beginning. Just give me a portion of a core and I get my business started. And if things go okay, then the PDP down the line will help you just migrate into a full core very easily. And with all this setup ready, you just say click sign and deploy. Again, you just selected a couple of boxes here and there, click sign and deploy, and your rollup is live within 15 minutes. No more months and weeks of researching and a big team of knowing this. You can get started very fast and very easy and iterate from there. Is this working? Yeah, the video is working. So we have this very simple front end where you can do all of this. As I was just saying right now, you can deploy your own rollup, but also monitor the rollup itself. We've also baked into the platform the ability for you to not only do this yourself, but also invite team members to do this with you. You can also use the rest of Polkadot. We have this one-click apps, as we call them as well, and bridges to the rest of the ecosystem. And finally, you can manage core time very, very easily across your own project. So it's very simple to do. But we're not doing this in the simplest way possible, if you want, right? It's very simple for you as a user, but under the hood, it has all the complexities and all the checks in place so that what you get is long lasting, so that what you get can be here for the future as well. So for example, the way that we register your rollup on chain is through the usage of pure proxies. Pure proxies are this very incredible account abstraction feature that Polkadot offers out of the box that allows you to create these pure proxies that are basically keyless accounts. These are accounts that are basically controlled by their proxies, right? So you can manage your proxies and give different people across time different the ability to just have different access to your own rollup in different ways, which allows you to have a very long-lasting setup with minimized risk. Besides that, if you are more of a CLI kind of developer, which we have a lot of in this space, then we partner with the Pop CLI team, and you can use the Pop CLI, run this directly on your machine. Just go to the PDP, you log in, you get your own API key, and through the Pop CLI, you can deploy your rollup as well in minutes. With support multisig and a lot of wallet providers in the ecosystem, whether that be a mobile wallet or non-mobile wallet, whatever you want to call it. And we are extending this with a lot of tooling with the ecosystem. So I'll give you an example. The Polkadot SDK, which is what we use to build this rollup runtimes, has this incredible feature called runtime upgrades. Basically, because of how a Polkadot node is built, we can change the WASM code that's in it through a forkless upgrade. Forget about having to fork your chain as every other ecosystem does. You can upgrade the logic of your chain very easily without needing to fork your network. Forking this is a superpower that Polkadot SDK has. And what we did in the PDP is make it very simple for you to use it. So when you want to do an upgrade, what you're going to do is go to the upgrades tab, select from your device what is the new WASM blob that you want to upgrade your chain to, and the PDP will look into what you have on chain today, what you want to upload, and will issue a list of changes that you're making so that you're sure that what you're doing is exactly what you're intending to do. And we couldn't have done this if it weren't for the Puppy team. That's an incredible team within the Polkadot ecosystem, developing tooling that allows us to do those things, right? The other thing that I can mention on the runtime upgrades track is that, and this is a bit of alpha information I'm going to be sharing, but the PDP has also a working branch right now with dry running of these runtime upgrades through Chopsticks, a tool built by the Akala team as well, right? So Chopsticks allows us, for example, to not only grab the WASM that you have on chain today, but create a fork of your chain completely offline just for testing purposes. In that fork, we bake in the new runtime. We run that fork of a chain for 50, 100 blocks. It's configurable today. And if everything goes okay, we go back onto the PDP and tell you, you know what, we run this upgrade, everything is okay, there are no issues, you can confidently go and upgrade it yourself. This is unique for you. It's a very simple thing managed through the PDP, and it's thanks to all the ecosystem tooling that exists in Polkadot today. Now, I was telling you before that PDP makes it very simple to manage core time, right? So core time is something that again shows how Polkadot has been designed to host rollups natively. The scheduling that core time provides today, both for starting small all the way to going into multiple core setup, is unique in the blockchain space. And we made it very easy for you as somebody that wants to deploy a rollup on Polkadot for the first time to actually make the most out of it. So core time moves in cycles. When you buy a core today in the current cycle, the issue that you have, if you want to call it an issue, is that you cannot use it right away. This core that you're buying today, you can use it on the next cycle, which could be at most 28 days. So what do we do on the PDP? Well, we actually pre-buy cores. So the moment that you deploy and you select a core, you're selecting a core that works on this current cycle, not on the cycle before. We already bought it for you. So this means that the moment your chain is registered and everything's up and running on the infrastructure side, your chain will start producing blocks. Time to market is dramatically reduced. Besides that, we offer you with different flavors of core time, right? So you can get a full core if you wanted to. That's okay. If you're expecting that your project is going to have a lot of load and you actually need a full core, that's amazing. We understand it. Here's a full core for you. Or maybe you're like, hey, I'm trying this out, right? What if I try with just a portion of a core? I know I'm going to have a bit of a longer block time, but that's okay. I'm just getting started and testing things out. Just give me a portion of a core. We have that for you, and we call that interlaced cores. So PDP gives you all of this out of the box without you needing to do anything. And not only that, but the moment that you deploy, you'll be able to monitor your core time consumption as well. You'll be able to see when is your core due and click a button and extend that duration of a core and buy a new one. Or you can also use auto renewals, which is an incredible feature that Polkadot offers as well, which allows you to put some tokens on a given account and the system automatically renews that core for you. It's quite incredible and again, unique in the entire blockchain space. So again, we are in front of another example of Polkadot proving once more that it's an incredible system to host rollups natively and has all the features that do not exist anywhere else. But as I was saying before, none of this could have been possible without the help of the community, right? So Polkadot has a very vibrant, very knowledgeable community, which made it so that we could build all these things in a very short time frame and with incredible quality. So things like Papi, as I was saying before, multics for all these multi-sig signatures as well, the POP CLI, which they do not only provide the CLI as well, but they also produce runtimes. So it's the Rock team that we're talking about. They have the POP CLI and they have the POP runtimes, where they have things like a runtime with a Polka VM, which is like very, very advanced out there. We are working together with teams like RegionX that they just recently went live with their Corta marketplace on Kusama. So now we can offer through RegionX and their work a lot more of flavors of Corta for users on the PDP. As I mentioned before, Open Zeppelin and the runtimes that are audited and vetted and very interesting to use. You have EVM templates there, you have generic templates, there's different flavors for you to choose from. And we've also partnered with other teams like Anchor, right? So Anchor has this roll as a service solution as well that exists on other ecosystems, but they've now also added Polkadot onto the product offering, and we've been working very closely with them to help them get up to speed and provide the best possible solution for people that trust Anchor and want to deploy using them. Again, our passion and our belief is that Polkadot is a great place to host rollups. And whether that is through the PDP or through Anchor, we're here to make it happen because we know that for the user, for that person that wants to deploy a rollup, there's nothing like Polkadot today. And of course, we're always very open to integrations and contributions. So if anything comes to mind, if you think like, hey, this could be a very good idea, you can drop me a message and I'm very happy to chat with you and see what can we do to make this product even better. Now, we've run this, right? So we've run this with testers. We had our beta testing round a couple of months ago already. And I'm very proud to announce that within this test that we did with real customers, we did not do anything with them. We just gave them early access and we told them, try it out. We closed our eyes and we hoped for the best. And I'm very proud to announce that we had zero failed deployments on everything. Everybody that tried to deploy it, no matter the background, no matter what they knew on Polkadot, no matter if they knew how to develop or not, like developers, non-developers, all of them could deploy it. We had zero failed deployments, which has been incredible as feedback and a stamp of approval for all the hard work that this team did to make PDP exist. So Daria, Mac, Remy, Pavel, Yuri, Dragan, you guys did an amazing work to make this happen. And this zero failed deployment is a stamp of approval on the work that you guys did. You guys rock. All right. So besides zero failed deployment, some of the things that people were saying after testing the PDP were like, this is a huge step forward. It's easier than anything we've ever had in this ecosystem. This feels like SaaS for rollups, and indeed it is. So this was like a nice pat in the back that told us, keep on going. What you're building is quite incredible. But what if we take the time right now to take a little bit of a closer view onto the platform itself so that you don't take it for granted, what I've been talking about, but I'd rather show you how it works in a bit more detail. Let's just spend 5 minutes looking into it. I'm going to go into deploy polkadot.xyz. There we go. And here we have our PDP platform, which I'm personally very proud of. So at the first glance, we have a very comprehensive documentation on how to use it. Plus, we made this auto renewal guide. I was telling you guys before how we have this baked into PDP. What we did is we extended that to every single rollup out there in the Polkadot ecosystem. And I've heard already from different well-established teams that they are using this guide to actually renew the auto renew or set up auto renewal for their course on Polkadot, which is something that we really, really like to hear. So let's go into rollups, which is what we're talking and what we're trying to investigate here. When you go into rollups, the first thing that you'll see is all the list of the rollups that you have working right now, or that are active, and rollups that you've run before that are now archived that you just killed, right? So I've been playing around with this a lot. I'm not a developer myself at all, and I managed to deploy in the span of the last couple of months, 22 rollups without like sweating, not even a little bit. So right now I have 6 rollups that are active, 16 that are archived. From the 6 that are active, 2 failed for whatever reason. Remember that we're testing things, so sometimes we make them fail on purpose, and 4 that are actually running today. You can see here for each rollup what is that they're running. So in this case, this beefy bashful activity rollup is running on West End. The token is TEP, that's whatever name I put into it. And in this case, we're running Open Zeppelin generic template. But in this other case, in the nervous mealy monkey, these are like automatically generated names. The token is PDP. I don't know, I was playing with it, I guess. And it's running Open Zeppelin EVM. So I see how I could deploy different rollups, again, without me knowing much of these different templates. So how does this actually work? And we're going to come into this in a minute. If you want to deploy a new rollup, you just go to new rollup. And this is the only thing that you need to fill out. And that is it. So first off, we have a name, very simple. You can play with it. So we have here blunt aggressive GPU. Interesting choice, I guess. Let's just go for, I don't know, billions low psychiatrist. Okay, fair. Token name, we can call it whatever we want. We can do PDP. As I was saying before, we have some, of course, validation of what we're doing. The ID of this chain is going to be automatic. This is going to be decided by Polkadot and whatever is the latest number in there. As I was saying before, we select the initial token supply, in this case, 100 million tokens, and the precision point of our chain. So if we don't know what that is, we have a little helper for you here. I'm gonna leave it on 10 for now, and then we'll see what happens when I choose different things. Next part, you're gonna select your pseudo account address. I'm just gonna select any because I'm not gonna be deploying it right now, so it's okay. This pseudo account, every template that we have on the PDP launches with pseudo. We believe it's the smartest way of getting started. And this is the account that will hold all the powers at the beginning. This account will be able to do anything on the runtime you're deploying. Once you are okay with this initial setup of your chain, you will decide what sort of runtime your chain will be running. We here give you 4 options. We have the Open Zeppelin generic template, the Open Zeppelin EVM, Pop contracts, which is running Polka VM, and Pop assets, which is similar to Open Zeppelin generic. I'm gonna choose Open Zeppelin EVM and see what happens. Perfect. PDP is smart enough to tell me, hey, just watch out here, just maybe take a look. You are selecting an EVM template, right? But you selected 10 as decimals or precision point for your token. Just bear in mind that usually fully EVM compatible networks use 18 decimals. So maybe you want to check on that. You can still use 10, that's okay, that's on you, but maybe check on this, right? It's a warning. I'm just gonna select 18 and the warning goes away. After that, you're gonna select your chain where you want this to be deployed. Could be on Paseo, it could be on West End, on Polkadot or Kusama. Right now on West End, we've deployed all the cores that we had available, so there's no anymore. Let's see Paseo. Okay, on Paseo we do have some cores. So as you can see here, we are run out of full cores. We only have interlaced cores. I'm just gonna click one of those. And that's it, right? As simple as that. I've configured my chain. You saw me touching no code at all. And this deploys right out of the box. You just need to click Sign and Deploy, and your rollup will get deployed. Very simple to do. Now, once this is done, what you're going to see, if I go back to rollups, is something similar to this. In this case, this is a chain that does not have a core, and it never did. That's why it never ran a single block. We're trying some things here on West End. But you're going to see details of your chain. So you can see what para ID it had, what was the name, what runtime it was running, and in what chain. What was the configuration of your token? So this was token TEP with 10 decimals. Which account actually owns this chain on the West End relay chain in this case, and which one has pseudo powers on the actual chain itself. The transaction that you signed to actually pay for the deployment, and you can see some explorers here that are running for you. You can see that this deployment worked, and it was created, and the infrastructure is up and running, and some more meta information on this. And you can get more code in here through Region X. There's a new update coming in the next 2 weeks that you're gonna have a way better option for code, you'll see. Then you can go to deployments. You'll see that this one was only run once, 28th of August. It took 16 minutes to actually finish deploying. And you have all the files that have to do with your own deployment. So for example, this parachain is actually the binary of your parachain. The parachain WASM is the WASM that is actually being run on the parachain today, and so on and so forth. We have the upgrade tab that is not going to work because our chain is not running today. And of course, we then have settings where we can off-road our rollup and do things with it. So this is pretty much of a walkthrough of what you can get on the PDP out of the box. As said as well, we have this auto renewal guide for all rollups out there that we're not going to get into. We also have documentation, which is very extensive, and you can read on it as much as you want when we go over through all of this. So for example, within the deployment process, you can check everything that's happening at every step of the way, how long it takes for each thing to register and whatnot. And we have our settings where we can do things like manage our API keys to deploy with PopCLI. We can invite team members to our team and do things of the sort. We can also create new teams if we wanted to. You see that I've been playing around with VH3, who made a very good audit of the UI of the PDP. Rebecca, another person, a colleague from Parity, and we've also been playing with our legal team because we're getting our legal documentation ready, and that's as much as I will say for today. So that is it for me. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you liked the presentation that I just did, that you liked the PDP. The last thing that I wanted to say is that we still have this closed on our premises, but if anybody wants early access, you can send me an email and I'll be sure that I get that sorted for you. We want this hackathon to be a success. We want Polkadot Cloud to be a success, and we believe that PDP is a means to achieve that. So thank you all very much for listening, and if I can be of any help, please do let me know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Santi. That was a really fantastic run through of PDP. There are a couple of questions in the comments, which I'm just going to read out now. So Tommy, Alison, Bob, hello, and thank you for everything you've been doing to get this whole celebration online. Has asked, how do I do runtime upgrades?
So there's several ways of doing runtime upgrades. The code itself, the new code that you want to develop, you will need to do that locally. And you can do that very easily through the PopCLI. But after that, when you just have your WASM ready to be uploaded, I couldn't show it because the chain was not running, but we have an entire flow on our UI as well that allows you to include that or submit that WASM blob that you just created. It will output the comparison of the runtimes. So what you have on chain register today and what the new runtime that you're putting together, it will tell you what things you're adding to that runtime, what things you're removing to the runtime, and what things are changing. So maybe you changed a type or things like that. You can also use that to tell your builders, hey, by the way, this is my new runtime, check it out. But you can also use it for your own self to see what difference are in there. And you'll be able to understand if that was exactly what you intended to do. And we'll walk you through the entire process of like submitting that on chain as well. It's all baked into the PDP.
Super. Thanks, Santi. And just to remind everyone, please, we've got a little bit of time left. If you've got any questions, do put them in the comment section now. Another question from Alison Bob. It would be, would I also use it to create a throwaway test version?
Yeah, 100%. These chains can live as long as you want them to live. Launching them takes 15 minutes, and you can have them running on Paseo if you wanted to. In fact, the way that we do that is we can allow you to reuse the same core on testnets for other chains as well. So if you kill your own, we can, and that core is still usable, we can assign it to another chain as well to give everybody the opportunity to use and produce blocks. So yes, you can just run it, see what happens, and then kill it, and that's okay.
Super.
If that's what you meant with throwaway test versions.
Yeah, Tommy, is that what you meant? Do comment in the, and I'll keep an eye on it. Super, Sandy. I had a question. Obviously, with this sort of focus we have now at Parity in particular, but across the ecosystem, given Gav's focus on products and wanting to build some joyful products and get people really kind of using the products built on Polkadot. How do you see PDP being kind of part of that new vision?
So I think that PDP was something that we really need to bring to our ecosystem to make it that simple for people to deploy rollups on Polkadot. Again, I said it throughout my presentation. I think that Polkadot is, in my personal opinion, the only chain that has been designed from the grounds up to host rollups natively, and it does so in an incredible way that does not exist anywhere else. Um, However, for something like the PDP to exist, we needed first Corten to exist. But now that we have all those pieces in place, we can very easily help people launch rollups and build their own products very fast. So the combination of PDP with runtime upgrades helps you not only get ready fast and iterate fast, but also start like increasing and developing your product together with what your customers are asking you to do. PDP is in a very good position to help product developers not only develop their products and deploy the products on Polkadot, but also find product market fit in a decentralized way, which I think is very, very incredible.
Super. Another question is about obviously Polkadot was built. The whole of the architecture is built for rollups or for parachains. Could we talk a bit more broadly about the rest of the ecosystem, the Web3 ecosystem, which is has a very exciting vision that we're beginning to really see come to pass at this time. How does Polkadot set itself apart? And obviously the PDP is part of this because it's really about the rollups from other ecosystems. Why would you choose to come to Polkadot, and choose to use the PDP in particular?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. So rollups have been a big thing in blockchain for, I'd say, the last 2 years, more or less. But yet again, and I'm sounding a little bit like a broken disc record. I think that's the right expression in English.
Yeah.
None of these actually were built from the ground up to host rollups natively, right? So all of the things that we see out there are patches to make things work. So even layer 2 or layer 3, as we call them on Ethereum as well, are a little bit born of an afterthought, right? So Ethereum was never designed from the ground up to host rollups. They saw a path to to grow through rollups, and they've actually like hacked it a little bit into the node. And in fact, if you want to deploy a rollup today, what you would do is use Ethereum to like commit your state and make sure that you have that like what they called using Ethereum's security as well. But then you would use the data availability from something like EigenLayer or Celestia. So you're also like now trusting another party, which is not Ethereum, and it becomes a little bit cumbersome. In terms of what you can deploy, you can use this optimistic rollups, which actually have 7 days of finality. So even though you see that everything went okay and that the transaction went through, it could be that it takes 7 days for them to say, you know what, we spotted an issue. We need to roll back all our state. I'm sorry. Yeah, here's your money back in the best case scenario, I guess. So a lot of things could go bad very, very fast. And then you have the CK route, which I'm very excited about and see how that pans out, but it's still like a long way to go, right? And we've seen Gav present this back at Web3 Summit, how the actual benefits that you get from CK are not that far from what you can get on Polkadot today and with Jam in the future. So even then, we'll see how it compares, right? On Polkadot, you got so many more things out of the box that it's quite incredible. I've heard people also call this pessimistic rollups instead of optimistic rollups. It doesn't sound very nice and very exciting, but it actually represents what it is, right? Because when you have a rollup on Polkadot and you tell Polkadot, hey, this is my new state, right? And this is what I used to generate my new state. Polkadot says, you know what? I'm not gonna trust you because I like you. I'm just gonna check on that. And that is something that does not happen on Ethereum. And it's very, very interesting because now we know that if that block from that rollup went through Polkadot, it cannot go back. And that state is irreversible. And that takes 18 seconds today, not 7 days. So that combined with the ability that you have to not use only one rollup, but actually elastically scale onto multiple rollups because your product demand set is very good. Runtime upgrades is a very good feature that you do not have anywhere else. Native bridges across different rollups on Polkadot and even through Hub to other ecosystem is not something that you have anywhere else. So again, Polkadot has been designed with this architecture in mind, and it has a lot of features that do not exist anywhere else.
Pretty cool to hear all that. I've got a couple more questions. Please, again, anyone, if you've got more questions, do put them in the comments. We've got a few more minutes. Just, you mentioned, Santi, testing the PDP and that you had 0 failed deployments.
Yes.
Well, Polkadot is known for its technical excellence, and certainly at Parity, that is also the focus. That things really have to be better than better. How do you feel about that now? Have there been? You said you're sort of watching with bated breath. Are you still watching as people deploy and use the PDP, and are you still, checking it out?
Yeah, so it's the platform's still closed, so we know who's deploying and what they're doing. But we did run this beta testing, where we open it to people and we asked them, hey, we asked them some questions because we also wanted to make sure that our experiment was as representative as possible for the future. So we not only want the developers, but people that are product managers and things like that. So we sort of like filtered there who could do it. And if I'm being super honest with you, Georgie, I was not expecting the results that we got, right? So I was like, hey, yeah, we did a good effort. When we do it, it works. But when other people do it, will it work? And I'll give you like a little bit of insider information that not a lot of people know about. But the actual first experiment that we did with the PDP, we did at the beginning of the year on Kusama. So we actually deployed a rollup with PDP on Kusama. It was around end of January, beginning of February. And back then, deploying on Kusama required a good amount of KSMs. Yeah, that's not the case anymore, but it was around like 25,000 euros in KSMs. And I didn't want to touch that money. So I told the finance team at Parity, you guys have the keys, go deploy, right? And we actually got our finance team to deploy it successfully on Kusama in February. Then we kept on developing. We came to, it was May, June that we did this beta test, and we got 0 deployments that time, and very, very good feedback from everybody using it, which was unexpected for me personally, as somebody working on this every day, because we still had other things to do. But it was a very nice pat in the back for the entire team working on this, saying, look, we're in a good trajectory. What we're doing makes sense. Let's keep on building this because it makes sense. So it was very, very good to see that, yes.
Yeah, no, very. Well, I think so at the pioneering edge, all of this. So it's good to sort of hear those sorts of stories when you're building something new. Yeah, and it went well. Just sort of again, if anyone's got any questions, please put them in. We're going to begin to wrap up now. I know, Santi, you've been with Parity for 5 years. What keeps you in Polkadot, and what are you excited about for the future of Polkadot? We've obviously had the shift to product. Gab is really energized. We're all energized. It feels like a very exciting moment for Polkadot, for Parity and for Polkadot. Where's your head at? What do you, for the next sort of 5 years, where do what are you excited about, and why are you still here building?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I always reflect on these things, right? I always think about, am I helping create impact? Am I in a place that is actually trying to change the way things are? And I think that one thing that Gab always has in mind as sort of like leader of this ecosystem, if you wish, is really pushing from these boundaries of what we believe in, which is decentralization and the future of like giving back power to people. And that is the reason why I joined Polkadot 5 years ago. Bit of a personal history on that. I used to have, I had a long career. I had this very corporate career as well, and I just killed it off and started off as an internet party. So I started from scratch because I really wanted to learn and go through the process of understanding and being able to just build towards this mission, right? Polkadot as an infrastructure built a very good platform to do this. And now building products on top of this to really give people back this ability and to show the way in this sense, when sometimes in the entire industry is not something that is, or it's sometimes very looked upon, right? So people do like cut corners here and there and like, okay, we're going to call it blockchain, but maybe it's not really decentralized in that way. For me, it's quite unique. And betting on this future is something that I really, really like. And that is the main reason why I'm still very excited about helping Polkadot be a place where people can realize this future. I'll keep on grinding and trying to get it done. I hope we get there. It's not easy. It will not come without its challenges, but real change always has challenges, right? We just need to stick together and not lose sight of what we're building towards, and I think we're going to be okay.
Awesome. Santi, thank you so much. It's been really inspiring to sort of sit in and hear about the PDP and your thoughts on the future. We are at time now. I can just see there's another question. Please reach out if we've missed anything. Please reach out to us on Twitter, any of the normal ways. We're, the team's really happy to discuss this and keep the conversation going. Also, check out the Road to Sub-Zero. Please check out the rest of the talks as part of the Builder Party. Keep building, and let's keep building the next generation of Polkadot. Thank you, Santi, so much.
Thank you, Georgie, and thanks everybody for joining.